families, creating a lifetime of memories. Sadly, some families are denied these important moments due to the sad practice of alienation. These are families divided.
Hello, and thank you for joining us on Families Divided. In this segment, Dr. Colleen Murray speaks with co-parents of a little girl and telling you how in the beginning it was a really bad situation, but yet they turned it around for good for their little girl because of their love for her and how they put her first. This is a great interview, and I hope you get as much out of it as I did. And then Dr. Murray will speak to us again on some issues with co-parenting. We'll be back in just a minute.
Divorce and co-parenting are a major life interruption for families, especially the kids, but also for parents and grandparents. And it's even worse in blame-filled, high-conflict cases. When parents engage in alienation by turning the kids against the other parent or grandparents, kids suffer. They're denied the opportunity to build the 4 big skills necessary for future resilience. New Ways for Families online class can help. Parents learn to use our popular BIF and EAR skills to calm the conflict and stop the hostile emails and texts. And we even have a class for kids and parents to learn together. Research shows a 75% improvement in joint parental decision-making after this course is taken, plus overall improvements for kids' well-being. Don't wait to make this affordable investment in your children's future and improve your well-being too. Start learning new ways for your family today at conflictplaybook.com.
In families dealing with alienation, communication during conflict is often very difficult. This fall, Family Access, Fighting for Children's Rights, will present a special in-person conference to address that very issue. Using and Refining Interpersonal Skills will be held September 9th through the 11th at the Marriott Research Triangle Park in Durham, North Carolina. You'll learn from experts how to master skills that can reduce anxiety, anger, and stress in alienation situations. Join Event Director Elaine Cobb, the founder and president of Family Access Fighting for Children's Rights, and conference moderator Dr. Colleen Murray as they present a lineup of highly respected experts, including keynote speaker Dr. Jeffrey Gardier, plus presentations by Bill Eddy, Megan Hunter, Dr. Joshua Coleman, Dr. Mark Mosk, Dr. Mary Alvarez, Dr. Sue Kornbluth, Shazia Sparkman, and Lisa Rothfuss. Mark your calendar now, September 9th through the 11th, for Using and Refining Interpersonal Skills, hosted by Family Access Fighting for Children's Rights, Steel Partners Foundation, and PA is CA, Parental Alienation is Child Abuse. Visit familyaccess.info for more details on the conference and secure your attendance. Seating is limited.
Hello and welcome to our panel segment for Families Divided. Today we will be talking to 2 co-parents about the importance of a good co-parenting relationship after divorce. Welcome, Glenn. Welcome, Jessica.
Hello. Thank you for having us.
Yeah, I'm glad you're here today. I think as the audience gets to know both of you through this segment, they may find it hard to believe that you 2 actually once did not have such a good relationship in your co-parenting. So I want to start by asking you, Jessica, can you briefly describe for our audience what your previous co-parenting relationship was like, and why you believe that your co-parenting relationship was previously unhealthy?
We couldn't even say the word hi to each other without getting on each other's nerves, and just it was very toxic, very, very toxic. And I think for myself, I was just scared, more so all in all of just losing my daughter, because I know we both wanted to be full-time parents. So when the separation happened and we started dealing with what we're going to do with our daughter, it really just, I was just scared. There was a lot of fear in there. And so fear brought on, I think, a lot of animosity, and it just, Glenn and I just bounced it off of each other constantly. We was never able to find a happy medium. So I think that's the right answer.
Oh, I don't know if there's any right answers.
I
know. But so what I hear you saying is that a lot of the reason why the co-parenting relationship was unhealthy was because after the divorce, you both felt that you weren't going to get enough time with your daughter. You both wanted her. And so there was some fear that you might lose some of that time that you had. And then there built up from the fear, this anxiety and animosity towards each other.
Yeah.
Glenn, is there something you would like to add to what Jessica said?
She's dead on. We were picking each other apart, every little thing. And neither of us wanted to lose our daughter or lose time with her or be second best, I guess. And so we took every opportunity and everything we could twist around, and we definitely did it. Hurt each other and hurt our daughter. But yeah, she's dead on.
So, Glenn,
it's still a bit emotional.
That's okay. That's perfectly okay. I think one of the things that our audience appreciates about our panels is that this is where they get to see the heart of the people that work in and the people that have been in these types of situations where there's divorce and a lot of hostility. And I think they really appreciate it because it makes you real and it makes you relatable. So, Glenn, can you describe for our audience what your child's behavior and emotional state or reactions were like when your co-parenting relationship was unhealthy?
Yeah, actually, that was, looking back now, that was the most concerning part, is because, you like to look at her as like, your daughter, but I started noticing that she was a different person when she was with me than she was with her mom. And almost completely different, because she couldn't show that she loved us to each other because we were always pining for her attention. So she'd have to almost pretend like she's the mama's girl with Jessica and then the daddy's girl with me. And the exchanges got really awkward. You could see the split in her that we were causing, and it was terrible, especially go back and watch it now. She was not able to be herself, not able to talk to us. She wasn't able to bring up good things about her mom when she was around me, or good things about me while she was around her mom, because we didn't want to hear it. We wanted to be the number one in her life, and it was causing her the biggest issue. She didn't have anyone to go to. She couldn't be the beautiful girl that she is today because we couldn't accept a loss, or a loss of time, or we couldn't look at it from her perspective. It's terrible. It was bad. But yeah, she was two different people.
And it sounds like that also kind of fed into your hostility towards each other. Would you agree with that, Glenn?
Oh yeah, very much so. Because like every once in a while she would, I don't want to say slip up, but she would talk about her life in Missouri. And she'd want to share the good parts about it, and there are great parts about it. And I lived in Georgia at the time. And I wanted her to focus more on the time when she was with me and talk about the stuff that she liked down here. Looking back, it's silly to want that, but I don't know. There's a lot going on, but yeah, I fed into it because everything I heard that was good about Missouri or about Jessica kind of ate away at me. And I knew it was doing the same thing to Jessica. Because definitely during the exchanges, we were spatting out.
So Jessica, is there something you want to add to what Glenn just shared?
Yeah, I think that Brianne, I felt like she did really well considering everything that was going on. I think she was more I felt like, because when she was with me, she would always talk about Glenn, like all the time. And, I would try my best to never say, don't talk about your dad, no matter how much I was just like, yeah, like, I don't want to hear his name. Like, I tried my best to be, put a smile on my face and say, that's great. I'm so glad that your dad can do those things. And, you had such a wonderful time. And so I didn't really see a lot of Brienne being reserved when she was with me so much, but I could tell that a change would happen and in Brienne when we would do an exchange. And Glenn and I are just now, in the past year, getting to a point to where we can talk. And so as talking about how Brienne was when she was in each other's care, we've never really talked about that so much, but I know she would change. And I know she was having a lot of belly aches. And I know that was from stress related, because she does not experience belly aches at all anymore unless she's just sick. And it's just terrible that, we was causing that in her. But, I think Glenn was right in what he is saying. I didn't experience a whole lot of Brienne not telling me about how her time was when she was with her dad. I always encouraged to hear about it, even though it was like, I don't want to hear about it.
Sure. So now that you've gone through co-parenting coaching, Jessica, how would you describe your co-parenting relationship with Glenn? And why do you think it's important to have a healthy co-parenting relationship?
Well, it's important for our daughter, period. And then it's important for us as human beings to be able to get along and be adults in the situation. I forgot what the first question was.
Oh, I was asking you, it's fine. I was asking you to describe how your co-parenting relationship is now that you and Glenn have gone through co-parenting coaching.
Yeah. It's just like night and day. I can't even, it is literally like night and day. That is the best example I can give for it. Our communication, we can communicate now. We're not talking at each other. We're talking to each other. We don't communicate through our daughter, which we never really did do a whole lot of that. But, we're like, we talk to each other. We never had that before. It was like, oh, what time are you going to meet me there? And that was it. And then we would be mad. So definitely having the counseling has helped us tremendously. I can't even express my gratitude for how much this has helped us.
And Glenn, what are your thoughts regarding your current co-parenting relationship and why you think it's important? What would you like to add to that?
It's amazing now. Anything that comes up involving Brienne, we're able to talk to and not, I want to say, try to find a way to wiggle our 2 cents in. It's more focused on Brienne, and like whatever comes up, it's what's the best for her in this thing. We're able to actually have conversations about her. It's no more battling about like whose opinion or whose view is right or why it should be done our way. We talk it out, and we're able to decide what's really best for her and what she wants to do. Or it's been great, even on the weekends and stuff, and or when we're doing exchanges. It's really pleasant. It's just, no matter what comes up, I feel like now we're at a point where we can handle it, whereas before it would just be like, man, we don't want to talk about this because it's going to cause a fight. Now it doesn't even cross my mind about fighting with her or arguing or reading into anything that she says as it being something different. It's really healthy. And it's super important too, because like Brienne's made a huge change from the way she was when we were both at each other's throats to where she is now. She's just so carefree. She's happy, and she doesn't pause anymore. She doesn't hide anything. I feel like sometimes she used to pause, like worried that it will affect us a certain way, but now she's just free to talk and free to be happy about both aspects of the life. And it seems like she's really come out of her shell a lot. Like she's not reserved or quiet or shy anymore. She's starting to be more outgoing and healthy and happy. And that's mainly due to me and Jessica getting along and learning how to communicate and doing it better, more effectively, I guess, but healthier too. It's changed her a ton.
So it sounds like the more you two learned how to have good communication and really start to use some conflict resolution skills and listen to each other and really hear what the other person is saying, not what you think they're saying, what they're really saying. It's like as that communication piece improved, your overall opinion of each other also improved. And that was a trickle-down effect to your daughter, where now she seems to be not having all of the behavioral and emotional concerns that she was having when you two weren't getting along. Is that what your perspective is too, Jessica?
Yeah. Yes, I agree. Everything Glenn said was spot on. And what you're saying, I mean, it's, yeah.
So for our kind of wrap up question, Jessica, what advice would you give to parents who find themselves in an unhealthy co-parenting relationship? And why would you give them that advice?
My advice might not be for everybody, but what has truly helped me, I feel like, is I was able to really give my situation to the Lord. I am a believer, and being able to truly remove myself and be in prayer, and just that has helped me so much. Whereas I thought I was my whole life, but I just wasn't, and I've really grown. So I feel like if you don't have any type of relationship, I just feel like that's huge. I think that we take it for granted, and we think, we can't see, we can't touch, we can't hear, but we can. So that has helped me. Just me spiritually finding time and spending time with God has helped me so much. I just, I have to give him all the credit, because I just wasn't able to let go. And finally, I just said, I've got to let go. I've got to let go. I cannot keep trying to fight this battle on my own. And that's what he tells us to do. So that's my advice. It might not be for everybody, but.
And Glenn, same question. What advice would you give to parents who find themselves in these unhealthy co-parenting relationships, and why?
That's a tough question. But like one thing that really kind of kicked it back for me is, Jessica's a fighter, and we both are. We were in this situation because we're that way. And we didn't know how to communicate, but if you learn that part of it, it's better to have a fighter on your side, especially when raising a daughter in this world, than it is to have an opponent and not give her everything that she deserves. And so, learn to communicate and learn to be in the same corner as opposed to across from each other.
So it sounds like you two really put your daughter first and found strengths in the things that ground you. And for you, Jessica, it was the Lord. And for you, Glenn, it was really finding that sweet spot with your daughter, where you could feel whole with her and with Jessica. Mm-hmm. And so I think that's a beautiful sentiment for our audience to understand that our children come before anything else. Mm-hmm. And you two have done such a great job. I know that you two have worked really hard to get here, because it sounds like your relationship in the beginning was really filled with a lot of turmoil and upheaval. And you guys have really dug in. So thank you. Thank you for sharing with us tonight, and letting our audience hear your heart, and giving them some real world muddy boots on the ground experience to draw from.
Families Divided will return in a moment.
At Victor's Crown, our focus is on you, our clients. When you arrive, our goal is that you will feel at home, from our welcoming atmosphere to our serene surroundings. Everything we do at Victor's Crown is done with our clients in mind. We have comfortable seating areas for both adults and children. A large screen TV with surround sound where clients can be occupied with wholesome entertainment while they wait. We offer complimentary refreshments such as coffee, tea, water, and snacks. Due to the present COVID pandemic, our in-person appointments are restricted to selected cases, and those are held in our luxurious outdoor open-air meeting space that we affectionately refer to as the COVID Cabana, which was built specifically for our clients to offer them the most comfortable and relaxing outdoor space available. All our other clients are offered secured web-based telemed sessions where they can connect with us from anywhere in the world.
Hi, my name is Colleen Murray, and I'm the owner-operator of Victor's Crown Christian Counseling Center. Today I'm going to briefly discuss co-parenting, what it is, and what type tends to work well in a high-conflict divorce and custody case. I'll be describing parallel co-parenting and two components that help parallel co-parenting work best. So, what is co-parenting? Co-parenting is a term that is often used in the context of a divorce or separation proceedings to describe the relationship between the parents. However, this is not a term that is exclusive to divorced or separating parents. It is a concept of an adult relationship that includes the shared responsibility for training and guiding children into adulthood. And how the co-parenting relationship goes after the divorce or separation is often linked to how the co-parenting relationship went prior to the divorce or separation. That means, generally speaking, if the co-parenting relationship before the divorce or separation was poor, the co-parenting relationship after the divorce or separation will be generally poor. However, there is good news. Even if the co-parenting relationship was strained or difficult before the divorce or separation, it does not have to stay that way, even if the other parent refuses to change. Because you see, it's difficult for someone to fight by themselves. But this requires a shift in your perception. I know, everyone is asking or telling you to co-parent. But what do they really mean by co-parenting? What they really mean is they want you to cooperatively co-parent. They want you to communicate and resolve conflict with your ex-partner for the sake of your child. However, I think if you and your ex-partner could communicate and resolve conflict for the sake of the child, perhaps you would not be divorced or separated, and you would absolutely not be in a high conflict custody divorce case. So what can you do? You can parallel co-parent. This is where you get to focus on what you can really control, which is you and your environment. And this does not require input from your ex-partner. Remember back when you learned about parallel lines in geometry? What was unique about them? Remember, they were two lines on the same plane that never intersected. Let me put this in context for you. Parallel co-parenting exists in the same time continuum, but they do not exist in the same space continuum. Because remember, parallel lines never intersect. Each parent gets to create their own environment where they get to be the best parent to your child during their own parenting times. This frees each parent from feeling like they need to direct or solve issues of how the other parent's house will run. So the number one key component to parallel co-parenting is what happens at your house happens at your house. You do not need permission or approval from your co-parent to run your house. And what happens at your co-parent's house happens at their house, even if you don't approve. This type of co-parenting helps to shift the focus to the child and not the other parent, who, remember, is responsible for their own environment. Which brings me to our second point. Let's practice healthy boundaries. Parallel co-parenting also assists in demonstrating good, healthy boundaries to your child. Personal boundaries are so important because they help us to live in agreement with our values for the purpose of taking care of ourselves emotionally and physically and spiritually. They set basic guidelines for how you want to be treated and ensure that relationships can be mutually respectful, appropriate, and caring. So in a nutshell, we teach people how to treat us. Staying focused on who and what we can really control decreases our feelings of being out of control and helps us to focus on what is truly important in co-parenting.
Family Access, Fighting for Children's Rights, has 2 important email addresses you can use to reach us to request prayers for your family or to suggest a subject matter you would like to see covered on the Families Divided TV program. To request prayer for your family, please email us at prayersforfamilies@gmail.com. Is there a subject you would like covered on Families Divided? If so, then send your email to requestsforfamiliesdividedtv@gmail.com. We are here to help you in your journey.
Join us next week on Families Divided, when our guest will be Dr. Mary Alvarez. She will be discussing developmental consequences to children in high conflict situations.